Hello everyone, welcome to our channel. We are going to listen to Christian Horner. Let's listen to him.
Chris, you were saying a little bit earlier, well done, by the way, and well done to Max, that if it was a masterclass of driving in the wet in Brazil, today was a kind of psychological and tactical masterclass by your lead driver. Would you agree with that? Did he get in George's head before the start? Do you think he got into the steward's head as well, just by saying, oh, did Lando have a little lift there? Very clever.
Well, he was annoyed with, I think, George, the way that things played out in front of the stewards yesterday, and that he carried that motivation into the race, and that was clearly evident that he was super motivated going into this race. He got an amazing start, and that whole first, second, third gear phase of the start, he was going to be the only car that was going to come out of turn one in the lead, and I think you could sense that George kind of sensed that as well. So. And then, obviously, Lando got a bit of a run on the approach to turn two, but Max had it covered.
I heard, rumour has it, that he actually told George that he was going to do that prior to the start of the race. And, he was, actually, it's a significant disadvantage, that inside.
I think there was a little bit of a moment between the two of them on the trailer as they go around the circuit or whatever earlier I think Max, you with him that he felt that things just went a bit too far yesterday, and he was so motivated coming into this race, even more than usual. But he delivered the most amazing performance. I mean, he was just like a metronome, just lap after lap, whilst looking after those tyres. In the high-speed corners, he wasn't taking as much energy out of the tyre. That gave him the longevity, because we're in this weird situation where the tyres were getting faster and faster as they were getting down to the canvas. And then obviously the punctures started coming.
I guess that's what happens when you wake the lion, right? Be careful of waking up the lion. They upset him yesterday. Today he came back fighting. Have you ever known a driver, at least in your team, that has as much capacity as Max Verstappen? And what do you think it comes down to? I mean, some say he's got more toothpaste in his tube than others. Others have to really squeeze everything out. And Max just wakes up and does it like it's easy peasy.
Well, he's got this incredible ability to drive the car, absolutely on the limit, but have total awareness of what's going on around him. So, of course, there was then the issue with the debris on the straight and the yellow flag. And I think because he felt that he'd had a hard time from the stewards yesterday, he wanted to make very sure that they were having a good look and treating with an even hand, Lando not lifting on the straight. So, that's just the capacity that he has. And but I have to give full credit to the team as well this weekend, because we were not in a good place in the sprint, some big setup changes, a lot of hard work behind the scenes. And they've given him a car today that he's been able to go out and deliver his 9th win of the year.
There was only one moment. Yeah, congratulations. It's been an amazing comeback from the start of the weekend. But there was one moment in that race that I think we're all a little bit unsure of what happened with the safety car. The lights didn't go out. He went to go and didn't. And in the last corner, he tried to get on the throttle. Big old snaps on the way out. And that was the only moment in the race. It was like, okay.
But you know why that was, though? Because there was an issue with the safety car lights that they didn't go out. And the regulation is you have to stay within a certain car length or so of the safety car. So he couldn't prep for the start. And he was asking, what's going on? And race control couldn't tell us that, the safety car, lights, weren't working, properly. So he was just following the rules. And then, of course, the safety car came in and he's got to go, which gave Lando a run on him, but he kept it all under control.
He could have waited, actually, though, until the start line, couldn't he?
He could have waited a little bit longer, but you've got a split second to make your mind up in a scenario where you're not quite sure, what is that safety car going to come in.
Christian, today it worked in your favor, the race director's decisions, but I know that the drivers have been calling for more consistency, more transparency, all of that stuff. But if you were on the receiving end of what happened to Lando today, would you have felt it was a fair situation about when the safety car came out? Should it have come out earlier? Was it a double wave yellow situation? What is your take on the whole scenario?
Well, look, I felt that, first of all, it was a crazy situation. The tyres were getting faster and faster, and everybody's basically waiting for a puncture and a safety car, because you don't want to lose that track time pitting, in an open race because of that time loss. So could they have brought the safety car out earlier? Yes, they potentially could have done with that debris on the track. It would have neutralised the race at that point in time. But bizarre bizarre situation this weekend with the way that the tyres behaved.
Last question, or a couple of last questions here from me, Christian. Another DNF for Checo. You're now confirmed as being third in the constructors. Number one, how much of an advantage actually is that going to be for next year? Bearing in mind you've just won the drive, you've got a bit more CFD and wind tunnel time. And the other one is, if you are going to make a change with Checo, I know he's got a contract to the end of next year. Next week is the last race of the year. Would you like to give him the opportunity to kind of take the decision himself, or is that being presumptuous from our part?
Well, look, first of all, we've won 9 Grand Prix this year to 5 of any other team. Now, all of those 9 races have come with Max, whereas every other team has split between 2 drivers. And I think that to be third, we've still got half a chance of second, but it's a massively long shot. We're out of the constructors, and that's very frustrating, because that's where obviously the financial revenues are distributed on. But it does give us more wind tunnel time if you look at a glass half full perspective, that with a brand new set of regulations coming in 26, it gives us a little bit more wind tunnel time to accommodate those new regs. Now, look, Checo's been a wonderful driver for us. Certainly in 21, 22, 23, he contributed to Max's championship, obviously in 21, Constructors' Championships in 22, 23. And most of all, he's a great guy. And he's not enjoying the situation that he's in at the moment. He knows the pressures of this business. We're going to give him all the support that we can to the Chequered Flag in Abu Dhabi next weekend. And what he decides to do, that will be his decision at the end of the day. And so
not yours, it will be his.
I think that he's old enough and wise enough to come to his own conclusions, but there's still a race to go, and let's get to the end of Abu Dhabi and then see where we're at.
Thank you, Christian.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it. Congratulations
Thank you
today
very
on
much.
the victory.
Very, very honest answers from the Christian Horner. As the interviewer Naomi was asked the Christian Horner, like, they woke up the lion with that stupid decision yesterday that we had after the qualifying. And also London, also Max Verstappen was told that he is frustrated with George Russell, but like everyone knew that Max Verstappen at the start of the race will overtake George Russell, because he was so frustrated and he just can't wait to start this race and to win. Let's say he was like absolutely concentrated on the start of the race. And also they had interesting fights between him and Lando Norris, but this is what we say karma. Let's say what happened between him and George Russell. And also I want to just comment that question about let's say Sergio Perez. Definitely, I don't think that Sergio Perez will be next year at Red Bull. Maybe they will swap him with Yuki Tsunoda, or maybe Perez will go out of the Formula 1, and for the third place, like, okay, they will have the more wind tunnel time. Maybe it is an advantage for the developing a car, but they will lose a lot of money for the 2025 and 2026. But we will see. If we have one more race, they concluded this season. They have one champion, and they will finish the third place in the Constructor Championship. And maybe we will have an interview from the Sergio Perez at the end of the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. Maybe he will tell that what he thinks, or is he going to leave Red Bull or something like that. Just don't forget to like the video, comment it, and subscribe to the channel.